President Donald Trump has unveiled a bold new plan to overhaul Washington, D.C., vowing to tackle crime and homelessness head-on. He claims the city is in crisis, citing high-profile incidents and urban decay as proof that local leadership has failed. Trump argues the federal government must intervene to restore order and transform the capital into a symbol of American strength. His plan includes sweeping physical renovations and a crackdown on crime, promising to make D.C. safer and more beautiful than ever. The president frames this as a necessary correction, not an overreach, insisting only federal action can fix the city's deep-rooted problems. He's set to detail his vision at a news conference, signaling a dramatic escalation in federal involvement. For Trump, this is about more than policy. It's about reclaiming the capital's image and future. The move sets up a major clash over who controls D.C. and what the city should represent, the stakes, the heart and face of the nation. Central to Trump's plan is the immediate removal of D.C.'s homeless population from city streets. He's ordered that homeless encampments be cleared, with individuals relocated to government-run sites far from the capital. These remote facilities, modeled after earlier proposals, would offer tents, basic amenities, and medical care, but isolate people from city resources. A recent executive order has already made it easier for law enforcement to detain homeless individuals, paving the way for this mass relocation. Critics warn this could create isolated camps, stripping people of support networks and job opportunities. D.C. has nearly 3,800 homeless residents, with about 800 living unsheltered, the main targets of this policy. The administration frames this as compassionate, but many see it as a dramatic, controversial response to a complex issue. The plan's logistics, funding, and legality remain unclear. For the city's most vulnerable, the impact will be immediate and profound. Trump's first move was to deploy hundreds of federal agents across D.C., bypassing local police to address what he calls out-of-control crime. Agencies like the FBI, DEA, and U.S. Marshals now patrol city streets, following a violent carjacking that Trump used to justify federal intervention. The administration is considering sending in the National Guard, further blurring the line between civilian and federal control. This show of force is meant to deter crime and project authority, but it sidelines local law enforcement and raises questions about jurisdiction. Some residents see it as necessary, others call it an occupation. The city's governance is now in the national spotlight. Federal agents on D.C. streets mark a new era of intervention. Mayor Muriel Bowser is pushing back, rejecting Trump's portrayal of D.C. as a city in chaos. She points to data showing violent crime at a 30-year low, crediting local efforts for recent progress. While acknowledging past spikes, Bowser insists the president's narrative is exaggerated and designed to stoke fear. She highlights that despite improvements, the homicide rate remains a concern, fuel for Trump's supporters. The mayor's relationship with Trump is tense. He calls her well-intentioned but ineffective, undermining her authority. Both sides use selective statistics to make their case, but the reality is complex. The debate is as much about control as it is about crime. For D.C. residents, the stakes are high. Who will shape their city's future? The clash between local and federal visions is intensifying. At its core, this is a battle for control over Washington, D.C.'s future. Trump has threatened to take over the city's police, but Mayor Bowser argues local autonomy is protected by law. The nearly 700,000 residents of D.C. are caught in a power struggle with real consequences for their daily lives. Any federal takeover would require Congress, and legal challenges are certain. The courts may soon decide the fate of Trump's orders on policing and homelessness. D.C.'s unique status leaves its residents vulnerable to federal intervention, with limited representation in Congress. As leaders clash, the city's future hangs in the balance between safety, justice, and self-governance. The outcome will shape not just D.C., but the nation's vision of its own capital.